Welcome to GOlive TV, the future in your hands. The only multicultural IPTV station that brings communities together. Over 2.7 million people have already watched. GOlive TV, anytime, anywhere.
Welcome to our program, Productive Talks. I would like to welcome everyone in the world that is listening to this special program today dealing with Toronto. Everyone is speaking about Toronto. Toronto is in the news. It's a great city, the city with more people arriving every day, and the attraction to the lake is becoming more and more important. We'll discuss the redevelopment of the waterfront project, and I'm very pleased and honored to introduce to you the director of this great project, Elidio Coito, an architect that is also a friend and is very knowledgeable, and he will discuss Toronto and what is happening.
Well, thank you, Juan Carlos. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I have to say that you're right. Toronto is in the front pages throughout the world of what's going on. We do have a great team at Waterfront Toronto to address basically the needs and take the city to another platform of showing the world how great this city is, how much work we're doing to improve the quality of life, to make this city a much better city, and look for the future. As you have it in your program, it's a vision to the future, and the city of Toronto is definitely at the frontier. With the redevelopment of waterfront, the redevelopment of Portlands, and other projects that are going on, which we're pleased to take on and assist the governments, the federal, the provincial, and the city with all these projects to make sure the city looks much better in the next 50 years.
It sounds excellent and amazing. But before we go on with the description of the projects, tell us a little bit about you to our listeners.
Oh, thank you. Well, I have to say that my background, of course, is architecture. I am pleased to participate on all of the developments and redesigns and the production and the delivery of all these projects from the beginning to the end. My path has been in this industry since I graduated from school. I did take architecture in the School of Belas Arts in Portugal. Came to Canada a few years back, entered into several architectural firms, developed a lot of projects, and one of them was with the city and the social housing that we had done at Regent Park. Another project, amazing project in the city to show how great we have and we take care of social housing, affordable housing, and any other opportunities to ensure that the city is growing in a good direction. I then moved into the Waterfront Agency, which is an agency formed by the three governments, so the provincial, the federal, and the city, to consolidate the exercise to develop the lands along the waterfront, portlands, flood protection, various parks and green spaces throughout this, well, throughout the waterfront section. And we're here. We're here to ensure that it happens. It moves fast.
I had the opportunity to listen to you doing a presentation, and I was very impressed and surprised to see how big this project is and how it will change the city. I was wondering about the Love Park. What is it? Can you tell us a lot more about the Love Park?
Interesting you ask. Love Park is a park that exists at the moment, or it's under construction, at a piece of land that served, if you can see, it's part of the Gardner and coming out of the ramp into York Street. That section, it was very congested, was very difficult to manage. New developments to get the city moving faster, managed to take this ramp out of the way, and then we took the opportunity to transform it into a park. And the park took the name of Love Park. It was an international competition. As you can see, there's a lot of interesting vegetation. The park itself is defined by a pond, and the pond is a heart shape. This pond is supposed to be having the function of facilitating the summer times with water, and then in the end, in the winter times, it will be spaces for people to walk by and have the opportunity to see the trellises and enjoy the paths, have some seating available. It's going to be a fantastic opportunity for the people around the vicinity to take advantage of it, and also for people to come down to Toronto and to visit these green spaces. That's one of the major objectives of Waterfront Toronto, is to create a lot of green spaces for the public to enjoy.
Excellent. I foresee next year many Torontonians going down to the park.
To the Love Park.
To the Love Park, and then walking slowly to the lake, enjoying a beautiful afternoon. And here
exactly.
I see...
Here you can see some pictures of the construction that is going on at the moment. We intended to open the park at the springtime of 2023. The heart shape can be visible at the moment. The construction is much more advanced, and at the same time, all the greenery has been planted. There's a space for dogs to take care of themselves and play around the facility as well with the owners from the vicinity. And at the same time, it's a place where you can relax and enjoy the peace, even though the cities are busy, vibrant. But here you can take a bit of time to relax and stay back a little bit and enjoy the calm of the pond, and as it is portrayed, as you can see on these pictures.
Excellent. I look forward to go there as soon as possible.
As soon as done, as soon as it's open, right?
Yes. Great. So now that we discussed the Love Park, can we discuss another subject of great interest, the Portlands? The Portlands flood protection. What is going on? What's happening? How are you going to solve this problem?
It's quite an interesting subject, because the Torontonians will attest that we had numerous floods that happened throughout the years. These floods, as this picture is indicating, is due to the rains that come down the Donmouth, and eventually, because the Keating Channel, or should I say, the 90 degrees that the river finishes to, it blocks the water from moving naturally into the lake. Creating a lot of floods was the issue that was being dealt with, and forced the agency to come up with plans to what can we do here to ensure that the city doesn't get flooded as often, and try to reduce these or mitigate these risks. So one of the opportunities was really think of the portlands to open up the river and let the river naturally go into the lake. As you can see, we opened up the lake into two sections, and at the same time, we created spaces for people to take advantage of the water and interact with the water. Spaces where you can calmly walk and cycle and live eventually, because this project itself, beyond the Portland's flood protection, it's also a process to first clean up the land. All the brown lands that exist in this area needed to be taken and removed and remediated, as you can see by the pictures. Another river was created to realign and to be a lot more simpler for the waters to channel into the lake and reduce those risks of floods. At the same time, we have created parks. We have created opportunities for future developments. Here on the picture, you probably see a little bit on the right side, a number of potential concept buildings. That's called the Villiers Island. This is part of the Portlands. It's the future of the development that is now in place. And eventually, you will see these new buildings and new structures being formed once the Portlands is completed. The plan is to complete it by the end of 2024, and beyond that time, we will go into the development process itself, rezoning and getting the spaces ready for construction.
Wow, now that you explained this so well, I'm sure there will be a connection between people and the lake, and that will come to the lake and the lake shore and enjoy our evenings and the summer. I would like to discuss another subject in connection to this concept of connecting people and the opportunities of the water. How are you envisaging that? I am very curious about that.
Well, the city and these visionary plans of opening up basically the waterfront to the public and creating a bit of connection between. If we go back a little bit, the city's waterfront back in, and I would say 200 years ago, was only to the front street. That was the line of the old shoreline. Then beyond those 200 years, have gained and gained more space into the lake, and at the same time, it was a space created with industrial lands, a space where factories and a space of storage and wood storage and cements and whatnot were created to assist the city's needs. But if we go back to the 50s, that kind of stopped because of different methods of transportation. And then this area needed to be developed. Now, this development has the main objectives is to create this link, this connection between the city, the people that live in the area or come to the city in this section, interact with the water, interact with the various parks, opportunities of green spaces. And as you can see, there's a number of projects in place at the moment to create exactly that opportunity. We've created one of the sections called the Water Edge Promenade. These promenades that facilitate the walking and pedestrians and cyclists very close to the water has been incredibly accepted. And at the same time, the wave decks, different opportunities for people to see how and enjoy and relax, and this creates a bit of this calm stress reliever to sit in front of the water and just stare at, because it's unfortunately we don't have an ocean, but we have a lake, a huge lake, and we wanted to take advantage of that opportunity, and that opportunity is by creating spaces that are suitable for people to sit people to relax, people to enjoy shows and restaurants and take your canoes and canoe in the water. The Portland's created and is creating a number of opportunities for people to really take advantage of those by taking your canoe, just sitting on the water and just go for it. As you can see on this picture, again, we're going back to the same opportunity at Portland's and the various spaces that it's creating with new bridges. Most of the people have seen the bridges traveling down on St. Lawrence and coming down to the Portlands to be installed. All these are constant objectives for us to interact and get the city involved with the water, which is the right method of doing it. On this particular pictures over here, we can see the West on Lands and how the West on Lands was developed. We created the Pan America Games in this particular section back a few years, and then beyond that particular objective, then we developed the lands with housing, affordable housing, parks, green spaces, and becomes a more vibrant city for the people to enjoy and share. That's basically in a nutshell what the interaction, and the more we have the opportunity to do it, the better it is. Pictures of this nature this is actual picture of people interacting at the Water Edge Promenade and interact with the various shows. There are the tall ships come to Toronto very often. And again, these are all opportunities for people to explore.
The more I learn about Toronto, the more I love it. It's a city with a great future. It's a city that will bring joy and happiness to its residents. I am very happy with your description. I have learned a lot so far, and I hope everyone all over the world is being enchanted with Toronto, our city. Another issue that I'd like to discuss with you, it's a great importance to me, and that is the quality of water, the water that is the result of storms. So I heard that you are involved in a storm water transformation system. How will that affect the well-being of Torontonians?
A very good point, though, John Carlos. It's an interesting part because the city itself has been very conscious about the quality of the water that goes into the lakes. Everybody's aware that back in 1987, there was a study done about the quality of the water along the Great Lakes, and Toronto was definitely not in a good place. So having that in mind and having the ability to transform it, the city decided to create opportunities to stop the water from going with the sewers down to the lake and stop them, treat the water, and then move into a situation where the water gets treated, and after it gets treated, then it's sent to the lake. Here on this picture, you can see we're looking at the left side. There's the Sherburne Common Park, where this section is called the Dockside and East Bay Front. The water is collected, the storm water is collected in this section are then collected in the big, it's about a 12-meter diameter shaft that basically stores the water, shifts it and pumps it over to a stormwater facility that's at Cherry Street. It's a beautiful building, a building that has gained a lot of accolades and prizes. This building carries a structure, a mechanical infrastructure inside to treat the water from flocculation, from the UV treatment. And then once the water is treated at about 98%, then it's moving into the lake. This opportunity is not only, it's a small piece because we're dealing with waterfront section at the moment, but the city has larger plans. There's the harbor tunnel, that comes from the west all the way to Ashes Bridges. It's a 6 diameter tunnel and pipe that is going to intercept all the pipes that come from the city, and will be coming into this tunnel. The water will be diverted to a different and gracious water treatment or stormwater treatment, and at that point the water gets treated again, going to the lake. So this is a small component. It's the first of the in the world. This system, excuse me, it's an innovation that is Waterfront Frontline is we innovative in all aspects, from public realm to the stormwater facility, to housing, to addressing scenarios such as reduce the carbon footprint, to the point that one of the projects that we're developing at the moment is to ensure that we're net zero. Everything is going to be electrical, from utilities to the heating and cooling systems, and net zero is the objective.
Will this benefit just the residents of the downtown area, or will this project also benefit the whole city? Can you elaborate on that?
Of course, yes. So it's interesting, that question, because at the moment, about 30% of the sewers that exist are still going into the lake. And these sewers, it's a process. That process takes time. So these new systems that are created from Scarborough all the way to Ashes Bridges, or coming from the west to Ashes Bridges, is essentially to collect all the sewers that come from throughout the city. Doesn't matter if it's the west or the east or the center. It's the storm sewers, storm connections that collect the rainwater. The rainwater goes through the streets, as you understand, gets dirty, collects sand, collects oils, and then gets to this main trunk that is stopping it from going to the lake, and then shifted or pumping over to a stormwater facility. One of them is the one we just finished at Cherry Street, and the other one is under construction at Ashes Bridges. So this is going to be facilitating and stopping any waters going to the lake that are not treated. Therefore, the whole city is going to be affected and living in better conditions, because then the lake becomes the lung, if I say, or the kidney to help the city live better.
That means that next summer we would be able to swim on the lake because the water is perfect.
Next summer is a little portion, but it's a project going to continue. You can go into the city website, and this is information that is public. There are videos indicating what the plans are and what the schedules are. The big sewers are scheduled to be completed in the 2030s, 2032 or so. Some of them 2027. So it's depending on the infrastructure and the project. It will take some time to get to completion, but eventually we all can go to the lake and swim with no concerns whatsoever.
Wow, that sounds exciting. I would like to ask you the following question. How can I get involved in the revitalization of Toronto's waterfront? Is there a way for the community, the residents, to get involved, to participate, to share our ideas, our dreams about a city that is a happy city, that is modern, that is welcoming?
That's a fantastic point, Joe Carlos, because the waterfront's objective is also taking this information to the public. Not only waterfront, but the city itself is promoting the vision to people, but at the same time get people to respond and to enlight of what the objectives are and of what they would desire to see in the city. So the participation of the individuals going back to the city and to waterfront is crucial. Therefore, if you go on the website of Waterfront website, you will see a number of opportunities to register yourself as as a participant or part of the committee that you wanted to talk about. And this is a fantastic opportunity because the city is looking for the public's input.
Well, we shall participate. Therefore, we are inviting all our listeners in Toronto or all over the world to participate. Do you have webinars that discuss the projects that you just mentioned briefly?
Our public relations, they create very often seminars, and they invite people to participate. There's various groups. The groups are organized in scenarios or sections of the city, and then this has been promoted. The media has also taken on some of these opportunities to expand and explore and indicate what's going on with Waterfront Toronto and with the entire lakeshore of the city. So the seminars, I would say, are typically public meetings addressing the various subjects that we wanted to have input. For instance, the Portlands had a numerous of meetings and opportunities for people to participate. The Quayside that we're under development at the moment is also also an opportunity. It continues to be an opportunity for people to participate. And every time we start a project, we like to hear the issues and also the challenges, because sometimes these people that live in this particular section have a lot of knowledge that we would like to understand and do it better.
As you mentioned, the Quayside will be an important hub connecting surrounding neighborhoods to the water through its vibrant public spaces, retail, and culture amenities. What can we expect from this development at the Quayside?
Well, Quayside is a fairly big development within the waterfront section. And when we talk about waterfront, is basically the lands that go from Front Street all the way to the lake. So all that section is going through waterfront for either approvals or review processes. We have teams that review all the architectural plans, all the infrastructure plans, and then they participate. The public participates as well. But this review panel that exists with the city and waterfront, they comment, they suggest, they accept, they receive comments from the public, and then they get transformed or taken back by the designers, by the consultants, to address and redesign the project. This Quayside itself is about a 5-hectare piece of land, and I would say about 12 acres. It's a piece of land that has been basically at the moment in the redevelopment process has been awarded to a team of developers that are going to take this on. If you Google the information that exists, it's amazing the number of prominent architects that participate in this redesign of the Quayside. And the intent is to really develop a section that is within the future of waterfront. There's about 800 affordable units being presented, and there's more than 4,000 units. The density is within the city standards, but at the same time, it's creating green spaces. It's creating innovation. Potentially, the sidewalks will be in a different manner of you don't need to clean them, but they are warm and they sustain our climb. At the same time, there's a lot of opportunities to address the Parliament slip, where you have activities, you have restaurants, you have spaces for people to places for people to really take advantage of. I know time is coming up, right?
We are almost at the end of our session. I hope everyone is enjoying learning about Toronto, the waterfront. And now I'd like to show the last picture about the city. And everyone looking at that, I would say, wow, what a majestic city.
And I just have to say, though, John Carlos, basically what you're looking into is sections, the East Bay front, dockside. Some sections have been already constructed. So if anybody would like to come down to the waterfront section with the activities that exist, you'll see that these are done. Others are the key sites, such as beautiful buildings have been proposed, and it will be a beautiful city.
Great. I'd like to thank architect Elidio Coito, the director of the waterfront project. It has been amazing. I hope you will be able to come back for more explanations and updates on this project. And I would like to thank everyone for listening to this special program.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the invite, and always available. Thank you.
That's great. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another project, with another interview. And I hope everyone will have a great December and happy holidays. See you next time. Good night.
This is our family.
This is our life.
And we are Liu